Welcome to KÉRNEL Decoded. This is the episode where we decode the strategy behind the world's most significant luxury brand and extract exactly what African luxury brand founders can learn from them. Not to imitate, but to understand the principles underneath their success and to apply it to our own context. And I am your host, Oluwaseun, and today we're talking about Aesop. When I tell you that an Australian skincare brand founded by an hairdresser in Melbourne have a significant story for an African luxury brand, I need you to stay with me. Because I know that the immediate reaction might be, what does an Australian skincare brand has to do with an African luxury founder, market, or brand? But fortunately, everything. It has everything to do with the African luxury market, and I mean that. Aesop is one of the most instructive luxury case studies in the world right now. Not because of what it sells, but because of how it thinks. Because of the specific decisions he made about identity, about storytelling, and about growth that transformed a small Australian skincare brand into a brand that got sold for $2.5 billion in 2023. And underneath all of those strategy is a principle that is more relevant to the African luxury market more than any other market in the world. The principles that the most powerful luxury brands are not built on product, but are built on cultural intelligence. Let us get into it. From those very humble origins, a hairdresser, a small saloon, a handful of products in amber bottles, Aesop grew into one of the most recognized skincare and beauty brands in the world. By 2022, the year before the acquisition, Aesop had revenue of $537 million. By 2024, under L'Oréal ownership, the revenue had grown to estimated $700 million to $750 million. In 2023, L'Oréal, the world's largest beauty conglomerate, completed the acquisition of Aesop for $2.525 billion. By the way, this is the largest acquisition in L'Oréal's history for a skincare brand that started in a small salon in Melbourne. Now, the question every luxury strategist and luxury founders should be asking is not what did Aesop sell? The question should be what did Aesop build that is worth $2.5 billion? Because the products are excellent, but excellence alone does not justify a $2.5 billion acquisition. What justifies the valuation is what Aesop built around the product, the world, the identity, the cultural intelligence, and the experience architecture. And that is what we are going to be decoding today. Now, let's talk about the philosophy and what they actually built. I want to start with the thing that most people miss about Aesop. Aesop is not a skincare brand that happens to have beautiful stores and good storytelling. Aesop is a cultural brand that happens to sell skincare. The distinction matters a lot. A skincare brand leads with the product, the formation, the ingredient, and the results. A cultural brand leads with a world, a specific aesthetic universe, a set of values and references, ways of being in the world that the product is simply an expression of it. Aesop world is built around a very specific cultural references, literature, philosophy, architecture. The idea is that daily rituals like washing your hands, taking care of your skin, can be elevated into something genuinely thoughtful and genuinely sensory. The amber glass bottles are not just packaging. They are visual language that communicate a specific kind of quiet, considered, and intellectually engaged life. Every Aesop stores in the world is designed by different architects and designers. Not because they lack brand standard, but because their brand standard is about cultural specificity rather than visual uniformity. Each store is designed to feel like it belongs to the neighborhood it is in, to have a conversation with local culture rather than imposing a global standard or template into it. This is one of the most sophisticated brand decisions in modern luxury, and most brands never make it. They choose global consistency, the same store designs everywhere, because it feels safer, more controlled, more brand coherent. But Aesop choose local specificity because they understood something deeper, that genuine cultural resonance, the feeling that a brand truly belongs in your world, creates a deeper level of connection than a visual consistency. And that choice to be genuinely locally specific rather than globally uniform is the most important lesson for the African luxury brands. Now, let's talk about the African opportunity that Aesop has not yet claimed. This is the part that I found most fascinating and commercially significant. Aesop currently have a physical presence in South Africa through selected retail partners, but it has no dedicated stores in the African continent. No presence in Lagos, no presence in Accra, no presence in Nairobi, no presence in any cities where African most sophisticated luxury consumers live and spend. This is not an oversight, it's a timing issue. Aesop expands slowly and deliberately. They open fewer stores than most of the brands in their revenue level because they believe that the quality of each store is better than the quantity of the stores. They will not open a store in Lagos until they can open the right store in Lagos. And here is what makes it commercially significant as an African luxury founder and for KÉRNEL as an intelligent platform. The African luxury consumers who loves Aesop are the diaspora and corporate elite layers of wealth. They are the ones who travel out of the country for conferences, for events. Some of them stay there. They buy the products when they are coming. They send someone, friends, relative, and families to buy the product for them. Aesop African market is already building itself without a single store in the continent, without a single marketing campaigns targeted to African consumers. This is the power of building a brand with a genuinely cultural depth. This is the power of building a brand with genuine cultural depth. It travels without being pushed. But here is the deeper point for African founders. Aesop African market opportunity is also your opportunity. Not to copy Aesop, but to understand what Aesop has built and to apply it to your own context. Because what Aesop has built in Australia, Europe, and in Asia is exactly what African luxury founders have the opportunity to build here. A brand so specifically rooted in its cultural world, so genuinely, deeply, unmistakably of a particular place and a particular way of thinking, that it creates desire, not through advertisements, but through cultural resonance. Now, African luxury has the material for exactly this. The craft traditions, the material stories, the ceremonial depth, the specific cultural aesthetics, the African cities and communities, all is waiting to be claimed with the same deliberateness and the same cultural specificity that Aesop applied to its Australian origins. Before we go, I want you to sit with this thought. Aesop did not build a global luxury brand because he has the best products in the world. He built a global luxury brand because he understood something deeper than that. It understood culture. It understood identity. And it understood how to build a world that people want to belong to. The reason this matters so much for African luxury founders is because we are seated on one of the most richest cultural material in the world. The question is not whether the opportunity exists. The question is whether we are willing to build with the same level of intention. In the next episode, we're going to break down the things that Aesop did, the African luxury brand need to understand. We will talk about how Aesop built a wall before it built a market, why every Aesop stores feels different and why that matters. What's their pricing strategy taught us about confidence, why storytelling became one of their strongest competitive advantage, and perhaps why growing slowly might be one of the smartest luxury strategies available. So, if you're building a luxury brand or a premium brand, or you just want to understand how to build something that lasts, stay with me. Part 2 is coming soon. Until then, do not wait for permission to build something remarkable from where you are. My name is Oluwaseun and this is KÉRNEL Decoded, and I will see you in the next episode.